Get ready for the Squawking Eagles podcast, the show that covers only the Philadelphia Eagles. Think different. Think Squawking Eagles podcast.
Hey, Birds fans. Welcome to the Squawking Eagles podcast. I'm your host, Mike, and I will be joined by Miguel and Mark, and later on by our resident Cowboys fan, Nat. But before we get started, if you will follow us on YouTube at Squawking Eagles Podcast and subscribe, that'd be great. And also on Instagram at Squawking Eagles Podcast. So, boys, how's it going?
What it do?
It's Birds Day.
Birds Day, game
Might
day.
Also be Christmas Eve, but it's Birds Day.
I'm excited. Today's not only Christmas Eve, but it's also game day, Eagles Cowboys week. We have been waiting all week for this. We may actually have been waiting probably 2 weeks for this. I've been waiting before the Bears game, to be honest with you. So we will talk a little bit about the Bears game. I want to hear what Mark and Miguel have to say. We missed their voice messages during the last podcast, and then we we'll have Nat join us, and we'll talk about the Cowboys-Eagles matchup. So, Miguel, let's go with you first. Bears, what do you say? What happened with that game?
Well, it looked like, from what you take from what you've heard throughout the week, which is kind of good that we wait the whole week to record the pod because we get to hear the ups and downs of the week that is, right. Because this game felt like a loss almost. Like, we won the game, but it really felt like a loss, especially with Jalen coming out of it hurt.
Yeah.
We didn't know how serious it was. It didn't seem as serious, but looked like they came in they wanted to run the ball, but for
Miles Sanders didn't run the ball until the second quarter.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but I don't know how to explain it, but they decided that the receivers were one-on-one and they wanted to throw the ball, and even though Jalen had a shitty game, I mean, A.J. Brown still set a personal career record of yards in a game for himself.
Yeah,
but
definitely helped my fantasy team.
It's crazy to have a 300-yard passing game and have a shitty game.
Right.
It's crazy to have two receivers have over 120 receiving yards and have a shitty game.
I consider it a shitty game if you come out hurt. That's a shitty game. If you come out hurt.
I consider it a shitty game because he threw more than one pick.
Yeah.
In fact, he threw a pick at all.
He said that he couldn't feel his fingers. He said his hands were numb that whole game.
Well, grow up here, get used to the cold weather. Come on, boy.
Right, he's going to have to do it.
Hey, coach. Hey, guess what? Run the goddamn ball with your star running back, who's like partially leading. At one point, was nearly leading the league in rushing.
He's only a Pro Bowler. He's only a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, don't give the Pro Bowl running back in football. Having the best season of his career, and you're barely fucking utilizing him. Man's literally set his own personal record this year, and he's gone entire quarters without touching the football.
There goes our credentials.
What are you doing, Sirianni? I love you, but what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know.
My bad. You know what? No, this is Philly. Get used to it. You should know this by now.
This is true. I point out in the post pod is that they didn't start running Miles Sanders until the 6 minutes left in the second quarter. I was dumbfounded. I was like, no way, that's not possible. And that was possible. He didn't start running until the second quarter, and it was way too late. It was too late, and then it was Jalen was going to get banged up, and he didn't have the feel of the game. He said he couldn't even see out there. He said he had a hard time seeing.
If you watch the Bears, if you watch the Ravens from years past, if you watch the Eagles, when you see a play that falls apart as a pass and they scramble, Justin Fields, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, they know how to hurt a team. But these design quarterback runs RG3 gets hurt, Lamar Jackson's gotten hurt. Stop doing design runs in the NFL. This is not college.
Yeah.
Let them be quarterbacks who can make adjustments when needed. You're risking the career of the team by being stupid. Okay? Right. Stop being stupid.
And that's said by a college guy. That's a college guy talking. This isn't college. Look at that. That's pretty good.
That's a college football move. You know how they stopped doing the option in the NFL for how many years? And there's a reason for that. It doesn't work in the NFL.
Yeah.
They started bringing it back because now we can do the pass run option.
Yeah.
Bro, come on. That's still a college. Like it took every defense in the NFL one season to go, all right, I got this. And now it doesn't work nearly as well as it used to.
Right.
Every team knows, all right, we're going to go play old school college football. We're just going to make this adjustment, make sure we have the coverage, rotate properly, and it's suddenly a useless play.
They still run it. A lot of teams still run it, too.
Yeah.
And then you see teams like, Tennessee, they're all season, they don't do their game. They finally turn around and go, oh, you know what? Damn, we have Derrick Henry. Let's just run the ball like we used to. And it works. Here we're sitting here like, Pro Bowl running back. What? We don't run the ball. Who would run the ball with that? That's a recipe for success. We don't want to do that. That's a whoa.
Yeah. What are you gonna say, Miguel?
No, I was just gonna say the running quarterback thing is a process, right? Like we saw with McNabb. Like he came into the league and he was one of those run first quarterbacks, and as the years went on, you saw him try to stay in the pocket a little bit more. Coaching had him do that. So right now it's a process. Like Jalen uses it to take the open yards that are there at times, or sometimes he's using it just to get away from pressure. But over time he's going to get better. Right now he's using that trait that he has to help the team win. Unfortunately, it can hurt us because he couldn't get hurt, and then we're stuck. But he'll evolve into that pocket quarterback. But right now, he has to run.
The coaching shouldn't take the risk and force him to do it. I'm okay with the scrambles. If you're calling design runs, you're saying, hey, go risk yourself. We're stupid. We want to risk our future.
But they even came out and said they didn't even call like design runs for Jalen. Jalen's either checked down or he's like made
him in the first place
the line to take off on the run.
And then you tell him, yo, don't do that. I don't care if you think it's going to get you extra yards. It's not worth the future of the team.
Right. So it's $235 million out there eventually.
Oh, God.
$250 million.
Please.
250.
200 max. 10 years.
Did you see? I posted. There's 14 long snappers that make more money than him right now.
He's on a rookie contract.
It's unreal.
Round pick.
It's unreal.
It's not unreal. It's expected.
But long snappers, really, they're valued more than a rookie quarterback, though.
Can you snap the football 15 yards?
Give me a try. I'll try it.
I'll film it. Look how many times teams lose a game because of a bad long snap for a punt.
Yeah.
You got to be good at that. That's not a skill everyone can do. How many centers don't actually do long snaps?
Look, Jason Kelsey doesn't do it.
No, most of them don't. It's a different skill set.
Yeah. A little bit about the Bears. I was impressed with Justin Fields. He was pretty good out there. I was impressed with his running and his kind of avoiding. He did get hurt a couple times, but strong guy. I think he's going to be pretty good if they don't run him into the ground.
This is probably going to be the best year of his career.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
Why you say that?
Because he was an Ohio State quarterback. They don't ever last.
You don't think C.J. Stroud is gonna last?
No.
Of course, no. Why not? Why would he?
No.
Bobby Hoying.
Everyone, even a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while. Okay, I'm sorry if you're a top 5 college year in and year out producing top level players, and your history of quarterbacks is one worth of noting.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so I think we're in agreement here that the Eagles, even though it was a win, we kind of did lose a few things. We lost Jalen for at least 2 games, they say now. He's going to miss the Saints game. I would like him to come back for the Giants game just to get a couple of reps in. We'll see about that.
I don't think it really matters.
Mike, good question for you, Mike.
Yeah.
All right, so you're the coach. You're coming out of this Bears game.
Yeah.
The doctors look him over. Jalen says he can play. Are you playing Jalen today?
Let's see. This is tough. I'm myself, right? myself, I hate the Cowboys, and so yeah, Jalen's playing today. Jalen would play today. Yeah, because I want that win. I want the win. And then he can take off the next 2 games. He can just rest and be okay. But
then he's off the next month because then you got.
I know he's gonna miss. I know it's gonna be tough. It's never a good recipe to lose time on the field because it kind of all that rust kind of sets in. Right. But
I know, look at that.
We can't. We can lean on somebody. We can't lean on Gardner Minshew. That's why they got this guy. We are QB factory here. We do have quarterbacks that.
I'm gonna throw something at you. I'm gonna throw something at you.
And so we bring these quarterbacks in. Is it fate that Gardner is starting this week as well as Nicky Foles? Is it fate that Nicky Foles is out there and that aura that he puts out? That could be it. So let's talk about the Cowboys. We're going to bring in Nat. He was on our podcast the last time we played the Cowboys, and I figured let's have him on Christmas Eve. This has become a big game, always has been, and welcome to the show, Nat.
Welcome back.
What's going on, guys? Thank you guys so much for having me back.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you guys. It's been quite the season, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. Yes, it has. We were talking. Most of the podcasts recently have been talking about how the Eagles' schedule has been so easy, and I've gotten tired of the argument of easy schedule because the Cowboys have played pretty much the same amount of teams that the Eagles have. They've played the Buccaneers and the Rams. They're different, but
the Rams.
Hey, I just want to say, is there a lot of talk about the Cowboys having an easy schedule?
End of the season, yeah. I think if you look at all the games that the Cowboys play, when you have the easy hard schedule argument, these first 5 weeks. The first 3 games was Tampa Bay, Rams, and Bengals. So if you went from last year, that was some pretty serious games. But then this year, you look at all three of those teams, especially at the beginning of the season, just aren't what they were last year.
Right.
So it's definitely been an interesting season on that type of thing. The Eagles, they had at the beginning of the season, that's when all the arguments of strength of schedule and all that kind of stuff come out. But as the season has gone on, you see who your pretenders are, you see who your real teams are, and that kind of stuff, which is really interesting. I think if the Cowboys would have to play the Bengals right now, because for whatever reason the Bengals took the first half of the season off, and now they're coming into their own and that kind of stuff. So it might be a little different. It's pretty interesting on those types of things with the strength of schedule and that kind of stuff. Yeah. I mean, you can only. That's a preseason argument. I think in the middle of the season with injuries and all that kind of stuff, you don't really. At least I haven't heard too much of that talk after, once you got into the middle of the season and that kind of stuff. That's all we get.
If you follow us on Instagram, I put something up, easy schedule. Like everything anyone has ever have to say, if you're not an Eagles fan, is easy schedule. I'm like, well, it's not the Eagles' fault that the teams that they're playing were put in front of them. They got to play who's put in front of them, and that you can it's not an argument anymore because the schedule doesn't change how you play. You have to play who's in front of you.
I would also just like to point out
every team is good.
And I would just like to also point out there's only one division in the NFL with 2 teams with double-digit wins, and there's only one division in the NFL where every team is above 500. And you know what? Maybe we're the NFC Beast again. I mean, people just don't want to accept it.
Hey, all 4 teams are going to make the playoffs. If that's a possibility.
Isn't that insane?
Unreal.
Yeah.
Especially from last year. Just from last year to this year, the complete difference.
But the Eagles have an easy schedule, and yet their whole division is going to be in the playoffs. So I don't. The reasoning doesn't make sense anymore. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So I'm tired of it. So I keep making memes about it, and I can't stop. It's just enough of it. Enough.
And it's not like anyone else in the schedule. It's not like everyone in the schedule is playing an easy schedule. I mean, I'm looking through here. Yeah, don't get me wrong. The Giants have kind of, taken a little blunder recently compared to what they started at, But beginning of the season, they started off with a win against the Titans.
Yeah.
They started off beating the Packers, and the whole world was like, "What's happened to the Packers at this point? Like, you just lost to the Giants. You're starting off now great. They beat the Ravens. Another team was supposed to be, they're supposed to be fighting Cincinnati for the title, for the top of their division.
Yeah.
But it's just us. It's just a nice, easy schedule for the Eagles because we're a one and done playoff.
Yeah, they pretend like the Eagles made their schedule. Like, no, this isn't college. They make their schedule. The NFL puts out a schedule. You're going to play the South. You're going to play the North. You got to play who is in front of you.
Hey, you know what?
Yep.
The Commanders beat the Falcons. The Niners didn't.
Yeah, so I guess the Niners have a tougher schedule than the Falcons. Then, right? I don't get it. I don't. People who use that as an argument, it doesn't make sense. They have nothing else to talk about. They just have no idea what they are talking about.
That's the argument you use when you're scared.
Right.
Exactly. We're also the only division to have two teams to qualify for the playoffs already. 3 games left in the season, and that's the thing. Obviously, as an Eagles fan, I want the Birds to win, lock up that first week bye, that home round advantage. But at the same time, end of the day, no matter what happens, we're still in the playoffs.
Yeah.
No, we can't do anything to stop the Cowboys from making the playoffs. They're still in the playoffs.
Yeah, we just want that first round bye is what we want.
Exactly. And
So-
Minshew has his hair slicked back and is ready to just go wild.
So the last time we talked, the Cowboys quarterback was the great Cooper Rush. And so we were talking about how he coming in undefeated. The Eagles kind of put the Cowboys in their place. They kind of they won the game obviously, but now Dak is back. Dak is back, but Dak has been throwing a lot of interceptions lately.
Dak has had the worst 8 games of his career, the last 8 games.
It's crazy because all they talk about is how good he's been on TV. He's like the number one offense, the number one quarterback. Like, I'm not even kidding. They're on, like, everything I see is Dak Prescott's been back, and they are just unstoppable. Like,
yeah, well, I mean, if you look at the numbers, sure, yeah, they've been good. They've been, and especially this last game. This last game was one of the weirdest games in the world. It was the game going into the people that I talked to. The majority of us actually picked the Jaguars to win this game, just because it was one of those games where everyone was looking at the Eagles. Everyone was underestimating the Jaguars. The Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, the previous 2 games started rounding into what everyone thought Trevor Lawrence was going to be.
Right.
And he came out. He struggled in the first half, but man, that second half, Trevor Lawrence lit it up. And the Cowboys, though, at the beginning of the season, the weakest part of the team was the quarterback or the cornerbacks. Cowboys are absolutely decimated right there right now.
They got some sort of stomach bug going through their whole facility, right? There's some sort of stomach bug flu or something.
It's been weird. So the last 2 weeks, we've had some type of, all they will say is illness. I don't know if it's COVID. I don't know if it's a stomach bug, what it is. But we've had 4 to 5 starters not dressed because of whatever this illness is. They won't talk about it. So people are starting to wonder if it's COVID or something like that. But at the same time, if it would be COVID, you would think Cowboys COVID, it would be in the news. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on with that. But Trevor Lawrence did exactly what he needed to do that second half. The wide receivers did exactly what they needed to do the second half, and the Cowboys did not do what they needed to do. Now, the whole argument with the Dak Prescott thing, both interceptions were not Dak's fault. But at the same time, this is now, 9 games in a row that he's thrown a pick?
Yeah.
You can't have the argument, every single pick is not Dak's fault. Sure, there's definitely been some miscommunications. There's definitely been some things like that. But he had 6 straight games, the last 3 minutes of the second quarter, the 2-minute drive, where he's thrown a pick. 6 games in a row. So that's what we call a habit.
I would say, isn't that a red flag if that's happening? That's a bit of a red flag.
It's a huge red flag.
He didn't throw one against Minnesota. It was probably his best game of the season.
Yeah, and so amazing. Which there was 2 games where he looked absolutely fantastic. But in my assessment of Dak Prescott, in the first quarter, if he's throwing balls high, you know it's going to be a bad game. If they're sailing on him that first quarter, you know it's going to be a bad game. And I don't know, I don't understand how a quarterback in the NFL can have such a great game and then such a bad game so close together like he does. It's like he's a roller coaster, man. He can look absolutely pinpoint accurate. He's the number one quarterback in the NFL for tight window throws right now. But he also has the most picks in the last 8 games.
Right.
So it's like, okay, sure, he's throwing tight window throws, but he's also throwing a lot of interceptions. So
well, what do you chalk that up to? You chalk that up to the miss a lot of the first half of the season, and now he's kind of like starting to get into the groove, but this groove is kind of throwing picks. Like, what is the case here? Like, why could he be why is he doing this?
I don't know why he's doing this. I think he's always been that person and that mentality that I'm going to prove everyone wrong. And so, like last year, Jalen Hurts, he was the running quarterback. He needed to stay in the pocket. This year, what he's done, stayed in the pocket, and he's lighting everyone's butt on fire.
Yeah.
So here's Dak. His conversation was, oh, he's always been the bus driver. He's always been the bus driver. He led the team around him, that kind of stuff. So I think this year he's trying to put it on his shoulders, even though he has a two-headed monster behind him, that he just needs to stop for a moment, hand the ball off a little bit more, and let his offensive line do what his offensive line does, and let the running backs do what the running backs do. Like you guys were talking about the Chicago Bears game, and while Miles Sanders in the first half only had 3 carries. Like,
yeah,
Miles Sanders is having an awesome year.
Yeah.
Zeke is a number 1 starting running back, and he didn't make the Pro Bowl because his backup made the Pro Bowl.
Right. That's something, right?
Both running backs are having an outstanding year, and it's really interesting to see that all Dak has to do this season is drive the bus, and it's like, nah, I'm not going to be the bus driver. I'm going to be the quarterback.
Right. Yes.
So I think that's part of the issue with Dak. It's his mindset.
He wants to be the star.
Yeah.
Sounds like me and Nat come from the same school of thought, and for some reason both our teams just don't like us. I'm kind of surprised Jaguars fan Miguel here hasn't chimed in and be like, hey, it sounds like Mark talking again. Run the goddamn ball.
Run the ball.
Like, it's an easy football. You take the ball, okay?
Wait, hold on. You have to give it to the running back?
You take the ball from the center, he hands it, you take it, you go, this ball is yours, and you deliver this package that way, and you let them do it, and you stand there as like that. You're middle management.
And you won't get hurt. You won't get hit. You won't get dragged into the ground.
Yeah, you just hey, you do what you're a middle management in corporate America. I don't want to do this job. You do this job.
Yeah.
I'm going to get paid for doing this job. We're going to let you go in a year or two, get someone else to do it, even though you're doing great. But I'm going to be here getting paid, so you do the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
you think it would be that easy, right?
It should be that. It should be that easy.
It was that easy for you guys a few years ago when Dak first came into the league. All you guys did, I got Dak my very first season his very first season for fantasy by accident because I stepped away from the draft, and I was like, God damn, I'm a Cowboy on my team. A lot goes on in my life around draft season. I don't know why.
Always accidents with this guy.
I come back and I'm like, God damn it, I have a Cowboy on my team, and it was like my first pick. What am I going to do about this? And ended up pretty much winning me fantasy. He was a monster. And I'm like, okay. So now I know the Cowboys have a really good running back. And then, as you guys know, I'm a college guy. So, like, once I realized who it was, like, okay, I didn't like him because Ohio State, and now he's a Cowboy. Like, that's a double negative for me. But Ohio State does take some decent players, just not quarterbacks. And then, then they come out, and like I've said it before, I'll say it again. The thing I hate the most is how well Dallas drafts. The players that come out, I'm like, I want that guy who's going to be a Cowboy, and that's just how it goes. Yeah. But I agree, at least with Nat, on the fact that, like, run the ball. Don't this week. Let Dak do it this week. That'd be great. I would love to see Dak try to, be champion this week. But the rest of the season,
Mark likes to say, hero ball. He doesn't want to see the quarterback playing hero ball, and it looks like that's what Dak is trying to do. He's trying to be the hero. He's trying to be the spotlight.
Exactly right. That is a very good comment about Dak Prescott. That's absolutely what he wants. It seems like what he wants, and what he's doing right now is, especially those second quarters. It's driving me insane.
Yeah.
6 straight games with a pick, driving down in a 2-minute drill.
I don't think he's going to be able to drop back there and with the Eagles secondary and be able to try and squeeze these balls in. Like, Slay is going to be all over these guys. Slay and Bradbury, even Epps. Like, granted, he's not the greatest safety, but Epps he's been serviceable and he's been there. And so, I don't see him being able to do that. And so, it's going to be difficult for me to think that Dak's going to sit back there and pick him apart.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be the pick apart. Dak's best game, when he's throwing the ball the best, is when he's doing the play action. That is when he's doing the absolute best. So, you're doing his accuracy thing.
All right, so Mark is. We're going to stop right here real quick, and Mark is going to play this video of Dak Prescott's accuracy. I don't think I've ever seen this before.
Oh, it's a great one.
Would it set
a single target?
It's him versus Brian Carr with some targets. And Brian Carr is retired at this point.
Right, he played for the Texans, I think, right?
Yeah.
Is he hitting them all?
Brian Carr is nailing them.
He hits every single one of them, and Dak misses every single one.
No, Dak hits the final one, I think. I'm not mistaken. If I remember this correct, yeah, Brian hits the one off the ground, and then Dak, I think, hits the final one with that.
Yes. So, like,
eventually,
we're seeing that Dak. I guess how long ago was this? Was this last week?
This was like his second year in the NFL.
Yeah.
All right, so he's probably he's gotten I'm sure he's gotten better. I'm sure he was under pressure. It was young quarterback. He was trying to rush. He was trying to rush it. He's a young quarterback. He was being showed up by a guy who's played in the NFL for 10 years. Let's just chalk it up to that. Let's chalk it up to that.
Wait, I think LaShawn McCoy said it best this week. Hold on.
Oh yeah,
right, can I say on TV, please?
LaShawn McCoy had some great quotes saying Dak is ass. So, was there a response to that when that came out from Cowboys Nation? Was there any response to that?
I mean, there definitely was some response to it.
Sure.
It wasn't as big as what I was thinking, because I think everyone at the same time was understanding that LaShawn McCoy is speaking out his butt on that.
Yes.
So it was interesting that this was the game that he chose to do that, when this was probably the game that you could argue the most that it wasn't Dak's fault on this game. But at the same time, two interception game doesn't look good on the stat sheet.
Right. Yeah. He just left the door open for people to say things like that.
Absolutely.
Is what you're pretty much.
Absolutely. So,
he corrected himself later on in the week, and he said Dak's not ass. He's just playing like ass. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. And that would be a more accurate statement, because when you look at Dak, like, this is literally his worst 8-game streak of his career. And so, for whatever reason, he's in this slump, man. And it's hilarious. I always watch the player interviews right after every game, and like the last 4 games in a row, same interviewer is asking him the same exact question: why the interception? And his answer is always the same: I can't be doing that. Next game, I'm going to be working on that a little bit better. We're going to get better moving forward, and it's unacceptable.
Andy Reid.
4 weeks in a row, bro.
Yeah, right. That's the Andy Reid press conference class he took.
Do better.
Dak Prescott, we all kind of, hopefully his, this 8-game streak he goes could go to a 9-game streak. Let's hope for that. The Eagles are going to need some help. They're going to have Gardner Minshew back there. Minshew Mania is going to run wild, but we all know he's a backup. but can he find
Whoa,
something?
whoa! What was the argument last time?
Yeah,
we played?
exactly,
Don't talk about
exactly,
backup.
exactly.
Don't talk
What?
about backup.
I can talk about
What?
backups.
What are you
I can talk
doing?
about backups.
No. I have to agree with that on this. Step
Oh,
up to the
good.
damn plate.
Let's
Do
hear
your
it, Mark.
job,
Let's
and
hear
win
it,
the
Mark.
game. All right, Nick Foles stepped up to the damn plate and won the game. When he was here, Gardner's, it's your turn, bud. I believe in the stash, okay? But I agree, hey, the whole world, Cooper Rush was undefeated, came here. I'm not going to step back and, well, it's a backup, the way a lot of the other Cowboys fans might have when we won that game. If anything, I'm thinking like, this is just reverse. This is just, hey, you had a backup in, we had a starter in, now you guys have a starter in, and we have a backup in. It's a good game. It's a fair fight. Get the dub, Minshew.
So let's get to on the Cowboys side of things. Mm-hmm. Is Jalen hurt, or is this just the Eagles going, hey, we know we're gonna. Let's be honest. In the NFC, what team's going to make the Super Bowl? It's most likely going to be the Eagles or the Cowboys. The NFC is going through the NFC East to get to the Super Bowl. The way all the teams are playing.
You let the Niners get into the conversation, and they will yell at you and scream at you how they are God's gift to earth.
Oh, yeah, there's a guy on Instagram. He believes that the 49ers are destined. They're destined with Purdy.
They're just the best team to ever play the NFL, and they didn't play a weak schedule, and they didn't lose to the Broncos, and they didn't lose to the Bears or the Falcons. They're just so good. Their schedule is so hard.
So hard. But at the same time, the only argument I'll have for the Niners is they have a playoff-built team, not a regular season-built team, in my opinion. But when you look at the NFC and this, when was the last time two same division teams played and the starting quarterback didn't play in either game, and then in the playoffs they meet the third time, and that's when this is a pretty interesting
this probably never has happened before.
As long as you guys get past Tampa, it'd be really cool to see.
Right.
I think, Nate, to answer your question, I think it's a combination of strategy as well. Like, we don't really need this game, you know what I mean? So there's no reason to rush Hurts out there with a bum shoulder already. So it's just kind of the coaching staff playing chess right now. Let's go out there. Let's put the backup quarterback out there. Let's not show any packages that we might have to use against them in the NFC Championship game, because that's where we might see each other. But I think it's a combination of both. I think if this would have been a playoff game, Hurts definitely plays. But since it's not really, and the thing that scares me about this is if we lose to the Cowboys and then somehow blow that Saints game, and then that Giants game becomes like
important,
a must win, like that shit scares the hell out of me.
I'll be honest with you. I'll be more upset if we lose to the Saints than if we lose to the Cowboys.
Yeah, because we need that Saints. We need the Saints to lose. We need the Saints to lose.
I say you got to keep in mind, look, we already beat the Cowboys once. No matter what, it'd be a split season with them. Whatever, I can accept that. In my life, that's been the norm. Typically, we usually lose to the Cowboys at home, and we for some reason beat them in Dallas. I don't know why. That's been a weird history between the Birds and the Cowboys. But if we lose to the Saints, not only do we lose, for lack of a better term, easy game. Thank you, easy schedule. But that also hurts our draft. And we already have a GM who likes to hurt our draft. I don't want to risk it more. Come on. I wanted a top 5 pick, and they started winning.
Yeah, they won last week. I couldn't believe it. How dare they?
Right.
How dare they?
Fucked up my parlay.
Messed up your parlay. But the talk about Jalen, is Jalen hurt? Is he not hurt? They did say, I guess at the beginning of the week, that he was completely out. It was no question he was out, because as soon as they said that, his fantasy points went to 0. And so I was like, oh, great, okay. So, but then a couple days later, they're like, oh, wait, he could play. Now he's questionable. He actually is not out. He might play. And then the next day, they're like, oh, yeah, Gardner Minshew's in because he had this stellar practice. Kept talking about his stellar practice that the ball never touched the ground. And I'm like, I don't think we need to hear this. Nobody needs to hear what he's doing, because that's all it's just going to be. People's going to start chirping about.
That just means the opposite's true.
Yeah, I don't want, don't say stuff like that. I don't want to hear stuff like that. because it just makes you think like, all right, well, is it true, or is he just is he going to be like Dak out there and throw tons of interceptions? Like, what's he going to do?
Gardner Minshew is going to go off, brother. Listen, the line. You're right. The line started. What was it?
It was 9.
Cowboys +1. The Cowboys was.
Oh yeah.
Then they announced Jalen may not be able to play, and it jumped to like 3.5. Then it jumped to 6.
Yeah.
Now, right now it's at 4. The Eagles plus.
I think it's at 4. Yeah.
4.5. So, I mean.
Oh, you're saying that it's +4 for us?
Yeah.
I gotta make
plus
a bet.
4.5.
That's some money.
Yeah, that's what I said. I gotta throw some money on that. That's crazy. But I think Gardner Minshew
Don't waste too much money.
Gardner Minshew's gonna. What you say?
He said, "Don't waste too much money."
Just for that, I'm doing it double now. But yeah, Gardner's playing for that contract. You know what I mean? So I feel like he's got to lay some resume tape out there, and he's got to show out. I mean, he's gonna have the full arsenal out there. Goddard's gonna be out there. AJ Brown, Smith, Devontae is gonna be out there. Like he's got Miles. Hopefully, they decide he's gonna run the ball this week for Mark's sake, because I feel like he's gonna like blow a gasket over there.
I'm losing my hair.
I don't want him to go into 2023 with no hair on his head like me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm trying to.
I don't look as good as Miguel if I go bald. Okay. I'll tell you what, though. You know what this is? I have to agree with you here, Miguel, because I'm going to bring up a name I brought up earlier in the season, and I know I'm probably going to get bashed for it. Yeah, I bring it up a lot, but it's okay. Marcus Mariota. Okay, he lost his career in Tennessee. Hold up. Lost his career in Tennessee. Goes and is back up in the Raiders.
Right.
Derek Carr gets hurt for 1 game, and it's the matchup against the Chargers, and they're like, Mariota's starting. Mariota versus Herbert, a big thing for Oregon fans. Mariota had a phenomenal game, like over 200 and some passing yards, had the receivers in, had the tight end in, had the running back in, and he was just making plays, got himself a starting bid. Minshew's a good old boy who saw himself get replaced, honestly, for no reason. If you look at his stats, he statistically had no reason to lose that starting job.
We lost to Nicky Foles. We lost to Nicky Foles too.
Yeah, but
and then he lost to Trevor Lawrence.
He couldn't have lost it. He shouldn't have lost to Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence has played like absolute dog in his time since then. I mean,
not really. He's been one of the hottest quarterbacks that there's been.
17 interceptions in his very first season. Okay,
I'm talking about this season.
And he already has more interceptions this season than what Gardner Minshew had his second season. So again, you're not helping it. You're not helping it. I mean, bro,
we're talking about you're talking to the Jags fan here. He knows what he's talking about.
Disrespecting my Jags fan. I cannot tolerate this. I'm not from the Cowboys fan either. You know, like, if we're in house, just me and you, okay? But don't. We got company.
Yeah, we got company here.
I'm saying he's got a chance to come out and do the job.
Right. There's a difference between what Cooper Rush was doing and what Gardner Minshew was doing.
Gardner Rush game.
Let's call him Gardner Rush.
How about it? What if we agree to just rest Dak and we'll let the backups go at it next season?
Battle of the backups. That'd be
battle
great.
Battle of the backups. We'll do it every year, one game between Dallas and Philly. We just rest our starters because we know we're going to win every other game. Right. And, we got this.
It's interesting because Gardner Minshew, has been a starter in the NFL. He's been there. He's done this, and so now he's got a lot of weapons, and he could easily just sit back there. It's going to be a different set. The Cowboys don't know what the Eagles are going to throw. They're not going to run the same system, right? This is the Gardner Minshew system. They're going to be running the Eagles system, so they don't know what they're going to be running out there. They could run 1,000 times, and boy, Mark would just be. I would be elated if they ran the ball more than they did pass.
Well, don't be surprised if they do that because our two tackles, they ain't playing.
Yeah, and is Diggs playing? I heard he was pretty close to not playing too. Is he going to be playing?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure he's going to play. His thing is a wrist and hand. So it's not like he's not going to be able to run or anything like that. But as a cornerback on the outside, tackling, that kind of stuff, they're wondering if he potentially would be putting a club on. So that would be really interesting. A DB playing with the club, trying to tackle and that kind of stuff. So
do you
I
line
think-
him up against Brown, or do you line him up against Smith because Smith's a little easier to tackle?
I would. So what we've been doing so far this season, which has been interesting before the rest of our DBs got hurt, is been putting Diggs like the old Dion thing, put Diggs on the number 2 and then bracket the number 1. So it's for the most part it's been working out. But I mean, we're on our 7th, 8th, and 9th DB for everyone else. We have our starter, our number 1, but for the rest of our DBs, we're on the 7th, 8th, and 9th. So
Sounds like
every
the
DB
Chargers.
every DB that's going to be playing in this game hasn't really seen a snap besides DB2 yet in the NFL. So, and going up against the Eagles, who have the receiving monsters that they do. So
They do.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Like I said earlier, the Cowboys, the weakest part of the team preseason was DBs, and DBs just seems to be the area that we're just getting absolutely decimated in.
Yeah.
If Diggs doesn't play,
Look out.
it's gonna be interesting.
What you gonna do when Gardner
I just want to know.
wild?
Does Micah Parsons get a sack this week?
Yo, Gardner
Well,
Mike
Minshew's
Parsons,
4 touchdowns. He's throwing
I wouldn't
3.
be surprised.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Micah doesn't get a sack this game. I'm surprised you guys haven't brought his name up yet with everything that's been going on out there.
Oh yeah, we can right now.
Do you remember? You guys probably don't remember this. 2 years ago, what's his name? Marcus Lawrence had that weird rotator cuff thing where he played the whole season, and when the season was done, everyone was like, "Man, why did he suck this season?" Well, like week 5, same thing happened to Parsons. So
Chicago Michael Parsons.
The same strap holding his arm into place. So, but we'll see.
Yeah, you know, he went on the Von Miller podcast and has said a few things about Jalen and gave the Eagles some bulletin board material. And then Dak Prescott's brother went on Twitter and he was excited to roast the Eagles like a ham, Christmas ham. And so like, there's more bulletin board. Like keep talking. Like that's all we need. That's all we need is to hear all this stuff. Now Eagles are trash. Eagles are gonna roast.
Tad is just like Patrick Mahomes' brother.
Bro,
you ask any Cowboys fan, they're like, "Please, Tad, just shut up."
Please stop. Please stop.
I have to double down with you with that one. That guy, the Mahomes brother. You know, I remember a few years ago, not to bring politics into it, when everyone when they banned Trump from Twitter. I feel like Kansas City would like to ban Mahomes' brother from social media and attending events. Just like, hey, just sit quietly in some mansion and watch the game. Stop being part of the world.
Take away his last name. Just take away his last name.
Pretty much.
No, Mike is just salty because he plays far away from home. You know, he would love to win a Super Bowl, but it'd be great to win a Super Bowl with in your home city of Philly, and it's when you're all the way down in Dallas.
Well, I mean, it's when you take stuff out of context. Have you guys seen the entire comment of what Michael was talking about?
Oh, please indulge us.
Mike
Tell us. Tell us.
Yeah. So Michael was trying to say is he's trying to lift up other players on teams for MVP. And he was saying that there's 5 players on the Eagles team that's better than Jalen. Why should Jalen be running for the MVP? Whenever you have Lane Johnson, Miles Sanders, Kelsey, the DB, and who else did he say?
Hussein Reddick.
Yeah, but so he was just talking. He's like, why is the MVP turned into the quarterback? Why don't you? The MLB has a Cy Young for pitchers because they would always get the MVP. Why doesn't the NFL do something like that? So I know there's the offensive or defensive player of the year and that kind of stuff, but that's more what Michael was getting into. And when you look at systems, and that's the comment when he said system, he's a system player. That's when everybody started having all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would venture the same. You could say the same exact thing about Dak Prescott. The last time I was on, what did I say Jalen Hurts was? I said Jalen Hurts is a smarter Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is being absolutely stupid and reckless right now, throwing all these picks. And Jalen, he's being smart. He's doing exactly what needs to be done. Well, until he did that run and put Jordan's shoulder into the ground. But like he's a smart dude. He was that in college. He's not the flashy guy. He's not the guy that's going to get all the headlines with the words he's going to say or the style play that he does. But he's the guy, the type of guy that gets the job done. And it's very interesting that, well, I mean, of course, it's the Dallas Cowboys and it's Micah Parsons and all this kind of stuff. Oh, I'm gonna take this and run with it. Micah is learning very quickly that when you're a Dallas Cowboy and you're a star of Dallas Cowboy, everything you say is going to be under the microscope. It's going to be flipped around, twisted, and all this kind of stuff. So I think it's a learning process for Micah, but at the same time, I think he was very valid in the point that he was making.
Well, he was valid because if you took Tom Brady and put Tom Brady in the Eagles system that Jalen Hurts runs, it wouldn't work because Tom Brady is not a running quarterback. So every system that people run are quarterback systems. It's not that's not not unheard of. It works. So for him to say that, yeah, he had a point, but it's not because Jalen Hurts isn't successful because of the Eagles system. Jalen Hurts is successful because he's putting the work in and to figure out how the system works for him. That's why he's been successful. He's putting a lot of work between that last playoff game and now. He's a completely different quarterback. The beginning of the year when our podcast started, Miguel and I were talking about, I was like, he's got a weak arm. He's got a weak arm. He can't throw the ball down the field. He can't. He's got a low completion percentage, and we said he needs to complete the passes more, and he's going to throw the ball down the field. And guess what? He's doing that. He's got a stronger arm this year than he did last year by 1,000% in my mind. Yeah. And he's got his completions.
One of the big things with the MVP conversation that Michael was saying is he's saying that MVP is most valuable player.
Yeah.
Most valuable player. When you look at the Eagles, last year, now this is Michael's words, but last year the Eagles were trash. Add A.J. Brown and look what the Eagles are doing.
Yeah.
That's an MVP.
Yeah.
Well, so Michael was just trying to get the eyes to anyone other than a QB, but of course the QB comment is the one that everyone ran with.
Well, I mean, someone's got to put the ball that direction for AJ Brown to do his job. So I get it.
Also, you got to compare. You got to compare what he was throwing to last season compared to what he's throwing to this season. Like you said, like he was throwing to Jalen Reagor. Look what fucking Jalen Reagor did last week. He got Kirk Cousins 2 interceptions. Remember, he ran the wrong way on his route. You know what I mean? So it's who he's throwing to is definitely a key part of it.
Hey, that was a first round draft pick, but from our trusted GM who knows what he's doing. Yeah, Howie Roseman, you're so.
I mean, it only
good.
took him 10 years to know what he was doing.
Yeah. Howie Roseman picks his good guys. Don't bother that Justin Jefferson's on the board. Don't bother the year before that Metcalf's on the board. You take your great players that we trade away for nothing because they're garbage. Goodness gracious, Howie.
It's salty. Mark's a little salty.
You don't miss J-Jaw?
I miss Jalen Reagor.
This was his best draft of his life last year, and I swear to you, I need to get in there because I know for a fact he had nothing to do with it. Someone else was like, stop. You're not like, someone gave him like
he listened to the podcast. We talked about it. I said pick Jordan Davis. And who did he do? He picked Jordan Davis.
Someone gave him one of those. It's like an older brother playing video games back in the day. You hand your younger brother like the controller that's not plugged in. Said, hey, this is the floor phone. We're gonna have someone on the other line answer it. That guy's just some guy like at the security booth for parking. I got it. And then someone else.
Yes,
and
service.
Like, no, we wrote down the wrong name. We drafted Jordan Davis by accident instead of a quarterback. We're sorry. It won't happen again. Yeah, we're gonna keep doing that.
Oh, we drafted Nakobe Dean. Oh, wait, you wanted another quarterback? We just took Nakobe Dean.
I'm sorry. Can we just a little quick pause there? Because we talked about, how we haven't talked about the Bears the game before. Nakobe Dean's played what? A handful of snaps. Has he not looked everything you could have wanted out of that draft pick?
Yeah.
He's going to be
Oh my God. I'm just ready to just.
He's going to be a beast for sure.
I mean, who are we losing to put him there?
It's going to have to be Kaiser White. He's going to have to go.
Yeah, Kaiser's probably going to go.
It sucks. Another local boy, and he's not having a bad season himself.
No. It helps when like everybody kind of meshes together and it puts together a season that is, great. It's a great season.
How many Pro Bowlers do we have this year?
8.
8 starters.
How many alternates?
7, 7 or 8. No, 9. 9 alternates. 9 alternates.
And let's not get into the stub that they give CJGJ.
Yeah.
And
Dallas.
None of them even get to. None of them are going to go to that anyway because they're too busy practicing, getting ready for the next game. So
I mean, there's no Pro Bowl anyway this year. It's
a flag football and competition, which I'm excited to see that. I think
that'll be interesting.
I just want to see Tom Brady coached by Eli Manning.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great.
I want to see Peyton coach Dak.
Yeah, that actually could be a danger for us in the future. Dak, this is how you get accurate. Fuck.
So this game is going to is really going to boil down to, I think, turnovers and player personnel. Like the Cowboys are going to need to be able to put plug and play some guys who are going to be out. Their secondary seems to be decimated. They're going to need. Mark's shaking his head.
No, there's one player. There's one player. One player. And Nat might agree with me. Every year at Thanksgiving, there's one player on Dallas who has probably the best game of the year. And that man is Zeke. Now, this isn't Thanksgiving, but this is a holiday game.
Close enough.
I don't know why. Zeke loves holiday games. He wants to be fed. He wants the food. My biggest concern for all that we've talked about Dak and all the Micah Parsons banter, my biggest fear is now saying beginning of the podcast, run more. It's Zeke. If Zeke walks up and goes, "Hey, feed me," and McCarthy goes, "I've got turkey right here," he's gonna run. I know we've had a really good game or season, and I really believe in Jordan Davis. I'm not gonna lie, Zeke at holiday games is something. I'm just put it out there that I don't feel good about that.
Holiday Zeke is going to come out.
Yeah, I think Mark's on it. I think the winner of this game is going to be the team that just absolutely runs the ball like crazy. And I had the thought when I was watching the Eagles game last week, I had the thought, are they saving Sanders for next week? Because they knew what was happening on the Cowboys defensive line. I mean, both one techniques are out.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
There's no one technique for the Cowboys this year.
Okay, save Sanders, but run Boston Scott as much as you
run the ball. Just run the ball.
Run Boston Scott then, or run Kenny Gainwell. Don't just run Jalen Hurts.
Here's the downside though to all this is that we all know that we should run the ball. The Cowboys fans know that we should run the ball. So the Cowboys know we should run the ball. So what are they going to do? Well, they're going to expect the run. Gardner Minshew to the rescue.
Hey, side note. Here's a side note here. Okay, so Jalen Hurts, my quarterback for fantasy. Okay, he's gone. My backup is Justin Herbert, right? But guess what I'm going to do? You know what? I'm in the championship game. I'm putting Gardner Minshew in. I'm rolling with Gardner, and so I'm an underdog. I'm an underdog going into this game. So let's see what happens with Gardner. I want Gardner to throw like 4 touchdowns. I'll take it. Win-win. Eagles win. I win. I'll go home happy.
He's playing the Colts. What are you doing?
Well, I can't do it. He had 16. He threw 2 interceptions last week. Herbert threw 2 interceptions last week, and he threw for 300 yards and only scored 16 points.
Only.
Yeah, but Jalen Hurts scored 33 or 34 points last week for me,
and he got hurt.
I know. So you know what? I'm lucky to be in the championship game, so I'm just going to roll with it. I'm lucky.
You realize he's the number 2 quarterback in the NFL.
Who's that, Gardner?
He's getting disrespected routinely.
I'm just going to put him on the bench. Just roll with it.
Wouldn't trade him.
I'm glad I didn't trade him. I hate Joe Mixon. I hate him. Okay.
Gracious.
So, and side note. Okay, so we are going to predict some of the scores for this game. I simulated on the YouTube channel what it would be like if Gardner played against the Cowboys and what would Jalen Hurts play. Now, the first simulation we did was Jalen Hurts versus Cooper Rush. And the outcome of that game was like 59-7 or something like that. That was a blowout game. This time we did Jalen versus Dak. And sure enough, Jalen came out victorious. The Eagles came, it was like 42-35 or something like that. The Gardner Minshew game, not as good. Not as good. Gardner threw a couple of touchdowns. They ran a kickoff back for a touchdown, but the Cowboys.
We did?
What? Yeah, Boston Scott, right?
No, not our special teams.
In Madden.
No, not our.
We're due. We're due.
We're due.
Exactly, and we didn't. If we run one back for a touchdown, I'll buy a Jalen Reagor jersey if we run one back for a touchdown.
But of course, Dallas did come out victorious. So we've got a Cowboys fan here, and we're going to let the Cowboys fan do his first prediction for this game. Let's hear it, Matt.
All right. Well, I've been thinking about this all week, and I want to stick to my guns. I think this is going to be the running game. I think it's going to be an extremely low-scoring game. I think it's going to be the battle of the trenches, and I was trying to figure out like what type of score do I think this is going to be. I think this is going to be a game where it's going to be like 13 to maybe 20, something like that. Man, if the Cowboys lose this game with Gardner Minshew playing, I think the lines that are going is going to go like this very quickly for the Cowboys. Unfortunately, they seem to be wanting to go in that trajectory, but at the same time, this could be the game. And thank you, Jalen Hurts, for not playing this week. This could be the game that could get Dak Prescott out of his be the hero type game. If he can turn around, run the ball, and play what Dak Prescott does best and just play action this game up, and he finally puts a goose egg in the interception area, this could be the game to get Dak back on track. So I want to stick with that low score. What I say,
2013.
Yeah.
Cowboys, obviously Cowboys.
Yeah.
All right, that's respectable game. It's a close game. That's going to go down to the wire if it's going to be like that. And interesting too. I want to hear what Miguel has to say.
Yeah, I do. Go ahead, Miguel.
Well,
stick to your guns, Miguel.
Like I told you, Minshew Mania is about to go wild on the Cowboys this week. I don't know, man. Like I said earlier, Minshew's playing for that contract, so I believe he's going to go out there. I think he throws for 3 and runs for 1.
Oh, I would love it.
I really do. I think it's going to happen. I think the Eagles get the running game also plays a big part of this game. But I see like a 28-17 Eagles win.
Wow. Jags fan going out for Eagles, man. Gotta respect those Jags.
Hey, give us our respect. Look what we did to Dallas last week.
And they really they took it to the Jets are just a terrible team on watching that game on Thursday.
Dak Wilson's career.
Wow. Like I recorded a podcast with Sean, who's a Jets fan, on Thursday. We were watching the game, and it turned into a Eagles Jets podcast. Like we kept watching the movie, but I kept talking about the game the whole time. I'm like, oh man, it was Zach Wilson's just terrible.
I kind of feel bad for Wilson or Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner. I mean, they won Rookie of the Year from both sides of it, and Ooh.
Yeah, they're a mess. Yeah, they need a
Terrible team to
quarterback.
be a part of.
I predict Carson Wentz going to be a Jet next year.
Nah,
Oh.
Carson's done. You know who's gonna be a Jet next year?
Dak
Is either
Prescott.
gonna be Garoppolo.
Garoppolo.
That actually could be it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
No,
Garoppolo. Be a lot of movement.
Trey Lance, because they're going to stick to Brock Purdy. Let
Oh,
Trey Lance go.
right. Yeah.
Brock Purdy's
could you
the
imagine?
future.
Hot take.
Hot take. All right, so Mark, let's hear your prediction.
So I will say I agree with Matt. Battle of the trenches. However, I think our trenches are better. Okay, this is I think a fair assessment.
How many Pro Bowlers are on that line?
They have
All.
I will say
All of them.
All of them are Pro Bowler or alternate. I will say, no disrespect, they've got a very good offensive guard. He's always been great, but he's not enough for the whole team. And they've got a really good running back. But when it comes to D-line, Nat's been talking about that D-line's a little banged up. Ours is getting fresher than ever. And we just, we're looking good. We got a bunch of big boys plugging that line now. All we got to do is contain the outside runs of Pollard. And, every once in a while the Zeke sneaks through. We just got to make sure we follow up with that, which I think we've got the linebackers finally to do that. 17-10 birds, baby.
17-10 birds. Yeah, I like that score.
And you know what? I think we get a pick 6 this week.
Hey, we kind of would need that. We would need
From
that.
who?
I want to. You know what?
Blankenship.
Edwards.
TJ Edwards.
TJ Edwards. A tip ball at the line. Clap it.
I like those scores. I think we're all in agreement that running the ball is going to be the game. I don't.
Miguel. he's airing it out.
Oh, yeah,
he's got Minshew with 300 yards.
I mean, we got a fan here telling us the secondary is depleted. Like, come on, why not take advantage of that?
You're not wrong.
Hit him with
You're
the
not
play
wrong.
action.
Hey, I'm all in on Garner. You know
Hit him
that.
with the little Dak twist.
The twist.
I can see. I said it earlier, man. I said it should be a run game, but I'll bet you the Eagles are like,
nope.
Throw the ball up, boys.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't run the ball.
Yeah.
We don't run the ball here.
Sirianni loves big plays, man. Like
does.
that play, like he loves that deep pass. Like,
yeah. What I hate is how much I do love running the ball. The Cowboys do have two tough running backs between Pollard and Elliott, and that scares me. That kind of you get the fresh legs back there just to pound the ball into the defensive line.
But Mike, we have to have a therapy session. Sit down, buddy. Hold on. We stopped King Henry.
Yes.
We shut down the guy in Indianapolis. I forget his name.
Jonathan Taylor.
We shut down Barkley.
I think Taylor
shut down Barkley.
To be honest,
like, come on, Mike. Our defense is proven to shut down any running game in the NFL right now that we've played. So,
right.
What's there to be worried about? That Zeke isn't what Zeke used to be. You know what I mean?
Right.
Zeke is a shell of himself right now.
Except during holiday games.
Up and coming.
Yeah, it's true. It is a holiday game. It is a holiday game. Is there going to be a lot of pressure on Dak to want to, he's going to be on the stage here. This is going to be, his Kirk Cousins moment here. So is he going to pull a Kirk Cousins, or is he going to be a Dak Prescott, throw 1,000 yards passing here? Like, I don't want the Eagles come out thinking that Dak is going to, hand the ball off and they're going to run, and then they don't, and then Dak Prescott lights them up. I don't want to see that.
Cowboys did pick up T.Y. Hilton.
Yeah,
he
plays
is
this week.
Is he going to play?
He's supposed to play this week.
They went to the old age home and dug him up.
Retired?
Not anymore.
Came out.
He dug him up out of the old age home.
They called. They called Andrew Luck too, but
because Odell Beckham was like, "I'll play, but it won't be till January."
Jerry Jones is like, "Give me somebody with initials as a name." OBJ, and then they were like, "T.O. is too old." Okay, we'll go with
T.Y.
Look. I'm not gonna lie. I would love to see T.O. suit up one time. I don't even care for who.
He said
I
he's
wanna
ready.
see it.
He's ready. He can
Have
go.
you
He
seen
can go.
his off-season workouts? He goes to camps with with players all the time, college NFL players, and he still looks phenomenal. Man is
At the beginning,
on a next level, keeping his body.
in the beginning of the season,
Brady life.
he was running in track with somebody, and he
won.
Yeah, he beat one of the fastest guys there. I forget who he was.
He ran sprints with Tyreek. Now Tyreek won, but it wasn't like out of
Blown
the water. It
Right.
was like what Tyreek does to everybody, and T.O. kept pretty good pace.
The thing is, though, can he take a hit at 40-some years old?
I mean, he looks bulkier than ever.
Let me tell you. I don't know.
I get hurt getting off the sofa. Like
my kids run into me, and I'm like, I can't take it.
Mike, you're old, you know.
All right, we're talking about Mark is much younger than we are here, and I think more close to Nat's age. So yeah.
I'm just saying. But have you been a career athlete? Have you gotten yourself out of a season?
Yes, I am a career athlete.
Have you gotten yourself out of a league?
I play old man softball.
But you're not. You didn't get yourself out of a league that was not drug testing, and now you could legally be boosting, looking great. I mean, that man could be popping and then go, I want to play in the NFL and just clean up for a week. Like, you know.
Who knows?
Yeah.
So now everybody knows that I want Gardner Minshew to light it up. I talked to my brother earlier, and he said, "Watch, Gardner Minshew is he's going to put on a showcase for everybody." He got me so hyped up, I went and put him in my starting lineup about it. So it's like, is he going to light it up? Do I go with a 42-10 victory here?
Hold on. I got to throw it in here real quick. Nat,
yeah.
I don't know if you know this. His fantasy league's rigged, so it doesn't matter what happens.
Not rigged.
Bro,
Not
you had
rigged.
4 straight first picks. That's rigged.
It was not. It was not rigged. It was not rigged. I swear to you, it was not rigged.
Oh,
and all those players all those players I took aren't even on my team anymore. I traded them away.
You still had players worth trading because you had 4 first picks.
Jealous, jelly. We just ended with the same. We ended with the same record. You and I have the same record, 7-6.
Yeah, but at the end of the season, I didn't have anyone worth trading. I got lucky by being a really good drafter. I didn't have to trade away my best players to get the right guys.
That's right. That's why I'm like the Howie Roseman. I like the Howie Roseman of fantasy football.
Fantasy football, I'm cursed with fantasy football. My top 2 players get hurt the first 4 weeks every single year. It's just not fair.
The fact that Jalen went down kind of really hurt me. So I'm like, you know what? All in, Gardner. Let's go. Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead. What are you going to say?
No, I just say for me, every year I'll do really good in fantasy, and then it comes to the playoffs, and I just looked at it. I'm out of all 3 leagues in week 1. All 3 of my leagues, I just threw it away. And I'm 11-3 in my one league. In my biggest money league, I'm 11-3.
Right.
Lost the first playoff game.
Ouch. All right, so I'm going to put it up here. I'm going to put 28. Now, see, I can't pick the Cowboys only because our joke. We have a running joke. Whoever picks the other team is now that team's fan. So I cannot put that out there because
the fact that is your only reasoning hurts my soul. You are a Cowboys fan. Cowboys and Colts. You just love that Midwestern vibe.
I can't do it. I can't do it. So I'm going to say I'm going to go 35-17. 35-17. I'm putting it out there because I need those points for that championship game. So I need Gardner Minshew to just light it up because I don't trust Justin Herbert.
There you go.
Yeah, don't trust one of 2 guys in the NFL with 4,000 passing yards. Definitely don't trust.
Yeah, I don't trust him. Don't trust him.
Guy's got 15 NFL records.
Gardner's fresh. Gardner's
season.
fresh. 100% fresh.
Yeah.
100% fresh.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I want Gardner to do well. Let's take a backup over a guy who's having, has literally not talking about the Cowboys secondary. That's been his wide receiver core all season, and he still puts up 4,000 yards. And I still get to talk to you he's overrated. He's garbage. In what measure?
Yeah,
make any sense at
granted,
all.
Mark is a huge Oregon Duck fan, and Justin Herbert happened to be an Oregon Duck.
Even if he wasn't,
Truth comes
can't
out.
deny that. I mean, the amount of records that kid has broken for the teams he has. He comes into a league, gets a coach who doesn't want him. The starting quarterback gets hurt. He goes in, plays a phenomenal first game against the Chiefs, and the coach goes, "Yeah, but he's still not starting." 3 straight games later, still not starting.
Yeah. So there it is. Eagles. We have 3-1 Eagles victory here. Let's hopefully we are more right
Did you
than
expect
that.
something different?
Let's hope that we're more right than that is. Let's hope we do run the ball. Let's hope we run the ball and we can stop the Cowboys from running the ball. And I don't want to. I don't wish any ill on anybody, but if everyone is still feeling sick on the Cowboys, they should just probably sit out this game and get better for next week.
I mean, they could play if they just want to throw up on the sideline and
dehydrate themselves. Let's not make this another pickle game. Let's not make this another pickle game. I don't want to do that. No pickle juice game.
Chris. All right, so who throws the ball more, Dak or Minshew?
Who gets more? Yeah. Let's see.
I think Minshew's going to be throwing the ball more because they're going to be playing from behind the whole game.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
I like it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right.
I think Dak's gonna roll an ankle in the first quarter.
I don't risk injury. I don't want to wish injury. I mean mental injury. When Dak, first play of the game is a pick. Oh. Can you
That's a
imagine
mental
his
injury,
very
yes.
first throw. Just
Get it out of the way, right? Get that first pick out of the way early, though. Right?
That would
We
make
don't-
me feel so.
It's not like we want to throw
unintentional.
an interception in overtime or something. We don't want to do that. Get it over with. Right.
I will say though, this is
Yeah,
what's going to
the receiver right in the
happen.
breadbasket.
I got to throw this out here because I know what's going to happen. If we win this game, it didn't matter. The Cowboys team's hurt. Whatever,
Eagles have
we
an
go to the
easy
playoffs.
schedule. Doesn't matter.
We have an Eagles
have an easy
schedule. They're resting players. We're in the playoffs. Doesn't matter. If we lose, we're overrated. We're trash. The Cowboys are still the best team in the NFC. They're still the Super Bowl favorites.
And we'll be ranked 10 now. We'll go from 5 to
matter.
10. We'll go rank 5 to 10.
Well, yeah, that's the only argument on first week. So
Yeah.
That's the only thing. It's the only thing is that we're garbage. And if we, like I said, if we win, doesn't matter. If we
Doesn't
lose,
matter.
we're the worst team in the NFL. We're overrated. We're just absolutely.
It's a lose-lose, but I'll take the win. It's a lose-lose, but I'll take the win.
Yeah, I'll walk out with that dub.
I'll take
Hey,
it.
I'll take it. Y'all can say easy schedule all the way to the Super Bowl. When we walk out with that Lombardi,
Take it.
Woo,
and then picking up-
woo, woo. I don't have the money to go to Arizona, my guy.
you better go take out that loan, second
Take out
mortgage.
that
Something.
loan. Something. Has to do something.
I
So
told
that will.
you, Mark. That's it. Get that OnlyFans page up, brother.
Now you know what it is. I'll put $1,000 in the first person to score a touchdown, being Blankenship. Guarantee you, if that were to happen,
Yeah.
I'd be rich. So the
You're right.
odds would be so far against it.
Right.
That'll do it for us. Nat, thank you for coming on. Enjoy
you,
the
Nat.
game.
Thank you.
Thanks for
absolutely, thank
joining
you guys
us.
so much for having me.
I would like to
Happy
also,
holidays.
in respect to Nat, okay, thank you for actually coming on, because we've talked to other people, other fans of other teams, and no one has had the gall to come on and talk with us. You're a fan of our biggest rival, and you're like, yeah, I'll come on and have a little discussion. But other people, we don't even have like a history against Green Bay, and I don't want to talk to you guys.
No,
You guys-
I said I went to the Green Bay game, and the Green Bay Packer fan sat next to me, and he didn't want to talk to me about anything about the game. I was like, all right, dude, like, what's the point? Like, let's go, let's talk. No, this game's over. Packers got this. I'm like, okay, all right, you got it.
They got their
You got
bags
it.
packed to go home.
Right? You packed your
Got
bags
it.
already. And then we got Giants fans who he said, yeah, we'll come on, and like last minute, I can't do it. What is it? Why can't other fans? They're
Are
not
we
afraid. They're
that
afraid to talk
mean?
to us. We're not
Are we
mean. Are we
that
mean?
mean?
No.
Yeah, they think. They
Uh-huh.
think that we're gonna attack them the whole time. Like we're just gonna fan assault them on recorded podcast. Like, come on.
Well, at least
just
it's not snow on the ground.
Yes.
Yeah. But yes.
So
thank you, Nat.
if this might be our last podcast where the Eagles play the Cowboys, but if we do meet in the playoffs, definitely want to invite you back on. We want to talk some playoff football.
Yeah,
And
that'd be fun.
and if not, we'll have you on during the off season. We'll talk about drafts and free agency and stuff like that. How about that?
Good deal. Good deal.
All right,
Super
good. So
excited for that, and really excited to see who comes out of the NFC. It's got to be Eagles Cowboys.
it has to be. Can't be. I don't see any other team playing better than the two of those teams.
What about the Niners? Fuck Purdy all the way. Post is gonna do down.
Right? All right, that'll do it from us. Thank you for listening. Enjoy the game. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Go Birds.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Mania running wild on you. EAGLES.
Eagles!